Good evening. The palace is still reviewing the impending increase of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation members' contribution. In a message, Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cheloy Garafil says that the review is still ongoing. The Communications Secretary reiterates that President Bongbong Marcos wants to ensure that the contribution hike must be proportionate to its services. Meanwhile, PhilHealth Chief Emmanuel Ledesma, citing a letter from Malacanang, said that the Office of the President did not object on the scheduled increase after a thorough study on the matter. The state health insurer had announced the adjustment in premiums from 4 to 5% effective January this year, following the Universal Health Care Act. Health Secretary Ted Herbosa appealed to Marcos to reconsider the contribution hike. When asked to comment on Herbosa's recommendation to suspend the increase, Ledesma responded by saying that he fully respects Herbosa's suggestion, but emphasized that he cannot heed on it. House Deputy Speaker Aurelio Gonzalez Jr. says that Kingdom of Jesus Christ founder and televangelist Apollo Quiboloy must obey Congress's subpoenas and attend hearings. According to Gonzalez, even a self-proclaimed appointed son of God is not above the law. Gonzalez says Quiboloy should attend the March 12 hearing of the House Committee on Legislative Franchises, which investigates alleged violations of KJC-owned Sunshine Media Network International. On February 7, Surigao del Sur's 2nd District Representative Johnny Pimentel moved that a subpoena be issued against Quiboloy after Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas complained that the KJC leader has been absent several times already, despite a pressing need for him to answer questions about SMNI's ownership. However, SMNI officials have maintained that Quiboloy is not affiliated with the network. The House inquiry into SMNI came after Laban Kasama ang Bayan host Jeffrey Celis wrongly claimed last October that Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez had 1.8 billion pesos in travel expenses in just a year. The issue prompted the House committee to start a hearing, which eventually led to reveal possible violations of the franchise given to SMNI under Republic Act number 11422. The Philippines maintains a persistent presence in Scarborough Shoal even after China claims it managed to drive away a Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources vessel. Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela, says BFAR's BRP Datu Sanday remains in the waters of the Sandbank, also locally known as Bajo de Masinloc, since February 21. Tariela refutes the statement of China Coast Guard spokesperson Gan Yu, saying that they drove BRP Datu Sanday away from the shoal after repeated dissuasion and warnings. Tariela adds that the persistent presence of BFAR's BRP Datu Sanday is consistent with the national laws and Philippines' position on the West Philippine Sea. The spokesperson further says that the objective of BFAR's vessel is to ensure the safety of Filipino fishermen in the area and safeguard them from harassment. A spacecraft built and flown by Texas-based company Intuitive Machines landed near the south pole of the moon on Thursday. This marks the first U.S. touchdown on the lunar surface in more than half a century and the first ever achieved by the private sector. Six-legged lander Odysseus landing came after a nail-biting final approach and descent, despite having a problem with the spacecraft's autonomous navigation system. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson called the historic feat a triumph, saying that this is a giant leap forward for all humanity. It took around a week for Odysseus to reach the moon after launching from Earth on a rocket from Elon Musk's company SpaceX. The lander carries an array of scientific instruments and technology demonstrations for NASA. NASA says the data collected will help them prepare to return astronauts to the moon later this decade as part of a long-term sustained initiative of lunar exploration and a stepping stone toward eventual human flights to Mars. Mariel Padilla drew flack after conducting a gluten drip session at the Senate office of her husband, Senator Robin Padilla. In a now-deleted Instagram post on Thursday, the actress host shared a picture of her sitting in the Senate office with her husband in the background as she received her dose of intravenous therapy or IV drip. Mariel mentioned in the caption that she had the IV drip at her husband's office because she's going to be late for her appointment with an IV drip brand. Meanwhile, the IV brand also posted a video of Mariel proudly showing her IV drip. The video has also been deleted. After the photo and the Instagram reel were posted, netizens expressed their dismay over the actress's act for not respecting the formality of the Senate office. Mariel was in the Senate to support her husband following the passing of the Eddie Garcia bill in the highest council. Meanwhile, Senator Padilla apologized and said that they did not intend to disrespect anyone with a post. According to the senator, Mariel loves to promote good looks and good health. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's camp officially received subpoena issued by the Senate. Review of PhilHealth contribution hike still ongoing, according to Palace. And Mariel Padilla receives backlash for doing IV drip in Senate office. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.